Say manual car, you changing now. We are also on the panel, oil, and you will show them what they. But automatic, you spark and son, what checking oil. It is all check oil and say the old check manual and that's check engine now. On your baby mistake. Because sometimes, you know, say automatic on one spark here, no oil, no air was so. But spark here, a coffee man, the beer, normal position. It is a all sparking and son, what check it, gearbox. And you also checking it. Engine one in at the same time. Engine there say we check and son spark. But gearbox there say spark and son what check.
Every 6 months, say private every 6 months there was also start transmission oil. And I say commercial and so 4 months. What's the sound normal car ni gearbox near perfect. And I bet you also say who pack no pa. Obe say oh you need the enso shop them. A leakia a bema crotch na she a shear car no into change into automatic you know nini mana. Every 6 months now, best sound you be no. I was all the cop ubia or nim automatic in working. That is say, Yahanum. What the bar, Yenya, you baby as ye, and who say, filter be beer ye, you man, sana, ya fixation ponede, oil, as a yagu at the amount. Now, dear, I go automatic. Oh, yes, I am an any of the beer, or cow be usual, your problem.
Yes, I have actually used Toyota Corolla before, which was automatic. And I'm comparing to the Mercedes now, which is manual. And firstly, with automatic, when you run out of cell, when your battery goes down unexpectedly, there's no other alternative than to either go for a jumper or get another for a person's battery. But with manual, you can push it, and probably with second gear, you are on the road. Secondly, our mechanics here in the system are not so used to the automatic. The automatic is more or less a new invention. You know, olden days we had nothing like automatic here. So the mechanics can really fix manual much more better than the automatic. And so except some few shops that are so abreast with the technology, that can confidently say, okay, I can fix automatic. And let's they try and error on so many occasions before probably one fix.
First of all, anytime you're gonna start early in the morning, one, you have to check the engine oil, the water, level of the water and the transmission oil. Before moving the car. That's it. I mean, second, anytime I'll bet any little noise, BI or car anymore, I have to bring it to the mechanic for the mechanic to check it. Maybe if it's going to be a serious ABR, more than I am.
Welcome back from that box spot. Hey, in fact, it's only here in Ghana. Every more idea. So the thing that we were asking them, no, it's much from I think. But wait, Kaka, we are here for you. Yeah, we are all right. So right now we're going to talk to the expert, and he's going to tell us how to maintain your transmission or automatic car. We're going right to IBRAHIM MAHAMA, and he's going to tell us more about maintaining your transmission car. So stay tuned.
I have on this bench a 5-speed 4x4 automatic transmission, electronic automatic control for Infinity and then Pathfinder from the year 2004 to 2008. Now I have in my hand here a rubber seal. This is a rubber. It's called a lip seal. Now what it does is to maintain all pressures in each and every clutch pack or clutch application in every transmission. Now, for every automatic transmission car to move forward or reverse depends on this seal. Transmission itself originally produces 500 psi by the torque converter. Now, if this 500 psi is allowed to go in this transmission, it will blow this transmission into pieces. So there's a need to have what we call pressure control. We have what we call EPC, electronic pressure control, because we are talking about electronic transmission here. So this EPC controls that 500 pressure by allowing 70 to 120 psi into the transmission for the function of the transmission. Now, this lip seal here can drive a car out about 70 to 90,000 kilometers. Now, one must not wait for rubber to deteriorate before going for a recondition of a transmission. But once you hit 70, 90, the color of the oil starts changing to black. Recondition is due. Now, the transmission itself produces severe heat from the torque converter as well. You are looking for about 100 to 170 degrees Celsius. And this same seal must withstand the heat generated by the torque converter up to about 90,000 kilometers. If this lip seal is torn out or is worn, you're going to have what we call blow-by. Now, blow-by means when the TCM sends signal to the solenoid sends signal to the valve, and the valve push the fluid to hit the piston instead of the rubber to maintain the pressure and apply the clutch. The pressure will escape, what I call blow-by, and there will be no movement in either gear, either forward or reverse. So if this is controlling the whole movement of a car, it is therefore important not to wait after 70 or 90,000 kilometers to replace the transmission. Now, all these apart that go into this transmission, apart from the rubber seal that I spoke about, this is called friction, known in Ghana as clutch, and then that is the steel plate, known in Ghana as separator plate. It's called steel plate. You have the planetary set, you have the pump, you have the cylinders, and you have a clutch pack. Now, a clutch pack is when the steel plate and the friction are built up. This is what they call a clutch pack, because you have the steel plate and the friction all together build up in this. But when they are individually, you call this friction and call the other steel plate. The one is built up in a cylinder is called a clutch pack. This is the valve body, which has all the electronic application on it. It also has the TCM integrated with it. Now, what happens to this transmission is that when there's a cooler failure, water will flow into the transmission, which will invariably affect the electrical application, especially the TCM. So whenever you rebuild or recondition a transmission of this type, you have no choice but also to replace the TCM as well as the valve body. This makes it quite expensive because you don't always have to replace a valve body during a rebuild or during a recondition, unless when there's a problem. But in this system, you don't have a choice. Once water goes into it, it has to go. Water has not gone into it and it just wear and tear, then fine. When it comes to recondition of a transmission, all these things need to be replaced. So when a recondition is done, it's like you are having a brand new box in an old casing. The casing can go up to about 300,000 before it gets worn out. That means you can recondition your transmission 2 to 3 times before you have to replace the casing. And if there's a need to repair the casing too, you can do that. So this is all about reconditioning automatic transmission.